Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the topics conductors and insulators, free charges and bound charges inside a conductor, dielectrics and electric polarization, class 12th physics, chapter 1 electrostatics. First of all, we know that every material of moderate size contains millions and millions of atoms or molecules. Means each material is made up of atoms or molecules. Each atom contains a positively charged nucleus and several electrons going around it. We know that atom has a positively charged center. Atom has a positively charged center, this is called nucleus, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus. In gases, atoms or molecules almost do not interact with each other. In solids and liquids, the interaction is comparatively stronger. Hence, materials may be broadly divided into three categories according to their behavior when they are placed in an electric field. Conductors, insulators and semiconductors. These are the three types of materials on the basis of their behavior when they are placed inside the electric field. First of all, we will discuss conductors. The materials in which the outer electrons of each atom or molecule are weakly bound to it and almost free to move throughout the body of the material are called conductors. Means conductors have free electrons, and the electrons which are present in outermost shell, they are weakly bound to the nucleus and they are almost free to move throughout the material of the body. These electrons are called free electrons or conduction electrons because electricity is being conducted with the help of these electrons. When such a material is placed in an electric field, the free electrons move in the direction opposite to the field. Free electrons, let us suppose this is the direction of electric field, and we know that electric field starts from positive charge and terminate at negative charge. So electrons will move opposite to this. As electrons have negative charge, so that negative charge will be attracted by this positive charge. So electrons will move opposite to the direction of electric field. Examples: metals, human and animal bodies, and earth. All are the examples of conductors. Insulators. The materials in which all the electrons are tightly bound to their respective atoms or molecules and do not have free electrons, they are called insulators. Insulators do not have free electrons for the conduction. Example: glass, porcelain, plastic, nylon, wood offer high opposition to the passage of electricity through them, so they are called insulators. When such a material is placed in an electric field, the electrons may slightly shift opposite to the field, but they cannot leave their parent atoms or molecules and hence cannot move through long distances. Such insulators are called dielectrics. Dielectrics are also types of insulators which do not have free electrons but opposite charges are induced on their opposite faces. This thing we will discuss later on. Semiconductors. In semiconductors, behavior is like an insulator at temperature 0 Kelvin. At temperature 0 Kelvin, semiconductors behave as insulators. But at high temperatures, a small number of electrons are able to free themselves and they respond to the applied electric field. As the number of free electrons in a semiconductor is much smaller than that in conductor, so its behavior is in between conductor and an insulator, and hence they are called semiconductors. We will discuss about semiconductors in detail in our last unit, electronic devices. A freed electron in a semiconductor leaves a vacancy in its normal bound position. These vacancies also help in conduction, and we call these vacancies as holes. They contain positive charge. Next topic is free charges and bound charges inside a conductor. Inside a conductor, what are the free charges and what are the bound charges? In metallic conductors, electrons of outermost shell of atoms are loosely bound to the nucleus. We know that the electrons which are present in the outermost shell, they are loosely bound. On applying electric field, these loosely bound electrons get detached from the atom and move freely inside the metal. These freely moving electrons are called free charges, which are free to move inside the metal on applying the electric field. These electrons are free within the metal but not free to leave the metal. They cannot leave the metal, but they are free to move inside the metal only. These free electrons collide with each other and with ions and move randomly in different directions. These electrons are called free charges, which are free to move. In an external electric field, they drift against the direction of electric field. When electric field is applied, these free electrons move in a particular direction opposite to the electric field. The positive charges inside the nucleus and the electrons of inner shells which are bound to the nucleus, these all positive charges as well as electrons of inner shells are held stationary. These immobile charges constitute the bound charges. The bound charges which are bound, which are not free to move. And these bound charges includes positive charges inside the nucleus as well as electrons of inner shells. These are the bound charges. Next, dielectric. What is dielectric? Dielectrics are non-conducting materials or insulators that can be polarized. Dielectrics are the insulators which can be polarized when they are placed inside the electric field. Examples of dielectrics includes porcelain or ceramic, mica, glass, plastic, and the oxides of various metals. They all behave as dielectrics. Some liquids and gases can serve as good dielectric materials. Dry air is an excellent dielectric and used in various capacitors. Distilled water is a fair dielectric. When a dielectric is inserted between the plates of a capacitor, the capacitance increases. This thing we will discuss in another video. The molecules of a dielectric are either polar or non-polar. Now we will discuss polar and non-polar molecules. Polar molecules. A molecule in which the center of negative charges does not coincide with the center of positive charges. These molecules are called polar molecules, in which the center of positive charge does not coincide with center of negative charges. These molecules are called polar molecules, just like we can say like this. At one side there will be the positive charge and at other side there will be the negative charge. Means center of positive charge and center of negative charge will be different. There will be some separation between them. Example: N2O, H2O, HCl, NH3, etc. These are the examples of polar molecules. Each molecule has net dipole moment. Such materials are known as polar materials. Okay, like we know that there is a separation between negative charge and positive charge, so they have the two opposite charges at two ends and separation between them, so there will be some dipole moment. And the formula of dipole moment: P is equal to charge at the ends multiply separation between them. This is the example of polar molecule, water, H2O, and this is the dipole moment. This is showing. This is the oxygen and these are the hydrogens. Non-polar molecule: a molecule in which the center of negative charges coincide with the center of positive charges is called non-polar molecule, in which these centers of positive charge and negative charges are at the same point, they are coinciding with each other. These molecules are called non-polar molecules. Example: N2, O2, CO2, etc. Each molecule has zero net dipole moment because there is no separation between the positive charges and negative charges. Their centers are coinciding, so their net dipole moment is zero. Such materials are known as non-polar materials. Example: CO2. Here the center point of the carbon will be exactly at the center, and similarly the center of all the negative charges will be at the same point, so net dipole moment will be zero because there is no separation between the positive charges and negative charges. Means we can say center of positive charges and center of negative charges. See these pictures carefully. First picture is of non-polar molecule and second picture is of polar molecule. When electric field, applied electric field is zero, so we can say that these molecules are perfectly spherical. So the center of positive charge coincides with center of negative charge and net dipole moment will be zero. These are the non-polar molecules. When electric field is not applied, electric field is zero, so their dipole moment P is equal to 0. And when electric field is not zero, means electric field is applied, so the orientation of these molecules will be changed. There will be a little stretching between these molecules, so negative charge will shift to one side and positive charge will shift to the other side. Okay, this is due to the applied electric field, so dipole moment is produced in non-polar molecules when they are placed inside the electric field. Electric field is not zero. Okay, similarly the polar molecules, when electric field is not applied, the polar molecules already have poles, so there is the separation between negative charge and positive charge, so dipole moment of each molecule is there. And when we will talk about the dipole moment of the whole material, so net dipole moment of the whole material will be approximately 0 because these molecules are randomly oriented in different directions. We can say that the direction of this molecule is different as compared to this one and this one, so they will cancel the effect of each other. They will cancel the effect of dipole moment of each other, and net dipole moment of the whole material is approximately 0 or maybe 0. But when electric field is applied, means electric field is not 0, electric field is applied there, then again these molecules will be in a particular direction. Okay, like here negative charge, this is positive, all the negative charges are towards this side and all the positive charges are towards this side, so net dipole moment is produced, and this dipole moment further depends upon the temperature. As temperature will increase, so their orientation will be disturbed. Okay, so it depends upon the applied electric field as well as on the temperature. So what is the similarity between these two? When electric field is applied, there is dipole moment is there. In polar molecules as well, when electric field is applied, dipole moment is there. Next topic is electric polarization. When a dielectric material is placed in an electric field, dipole moment appears in any volume in it. As we have studied in the previous diagram, here when these materials are placed inside the electric field, when we are talking about this part, electric field is there, dipole moment is there. In polar molecule as well, when electric field is there, dipole moment is there. This concept is called polarization. When a dielectric material is placed in an electric field, dipole moment appears in any volume in it. This is known as polarization of material. The polarization vector, we can write it as P vector like this. Polarization vector P vector is defined as the dipole moment per unit volume. So P vector, this one, P vector is equal to dipole moment developed per unit volume. This is the formula. In its magnitude, P is often referred to as polarization. The magnitude P is called polarization. See, consider a rectangular slab of a dielectric. We have this one, a rectangular slab of a dielectric. Okay, here already we can see carefully that these molecules are polar molecules. The individual dipole moments are randomly oriented. We can see here this one, its direction is opposite to this one. So we can say individual dipole moments are randomly oriented and net dipole moment of this material is 0. In any volume containing a large number of molecules, net charge is 0. When an electric field is applied, dipoles get aligned along the field. The figure B and C shows the effect of dipole alignment when a field is applied from left to right. When here this one, electric field is applied from left to right, this one, then these alignments, these dipoles are getting aligned as per the applied field. We see that interior is still charge free, but left surface of the slab gets negative charge and right surface gets positive charge. This situation may be represented as in figure D. The same diagram. The charge appearing on the surface of a dielectric when placed in an electric field is called induced charge. As induced charge appears due to a shift in the electrons bound to the nuclei, this charge is also called bound charge. Relationship between surface charge density sigma, or we can say sigma p, surface charge density due to polarization of the induced charges with polarization p. We have to find the relation. We know that polarization P is equal to dipole moment developed per unit volume, and if the dielectric slab, let us suppose this is a dielectric slab, its area of the face is A and separation between the faces is X. When this slab is placed inside the electric field, or we can say between the parallel plate capacitor, so induced charges, electric field is like this in this direction. So negative charge will be induced on this face and positive charge will be induced on this face. This concept is called polarization. Okay, and its formula, capital P polarization is equal to small p. This is dipole moment developed per unit volume. And we know that dipole moment, if sigma p is the surface charge density, and we know that dipole moment is the charge induced due to polarization multiply separation between them. And what is the formula of charge? Charge means sigma into A. So we can say this P is equal to sigma P into A into X. This is the formula of P, dipole moment. So polarization P is equal to sigma P A X upon volume, area into distance. So AX and AX will be cancelled. Hence this is sigma P. So we can say that polarization P is equal to sigma P. This is the relation between polarization and surface charge density. Next is electric susceptibility. Electric susceptibility. What is this? Here we have studied that we have observed polarization is directly proportional to applied electric field. When this proportionality symbol is converted into equal to, we use a constant. That constant is represented like this. This is the Greek letter chi epsilon naught E, where this chi epsilon naught is the constant of proportionality. This Greek letter chi, its pronunciation is this one, is the dimensionless proportionality constant. This is the dimensionless proportionality constant. It describes the behavior of dielectric. This Greek letter chi describes the behavior of dielectric. Describes the behavior of dielectric. As the value of this chi increases, the polarization also increases. Okay, and for vacuum, as there are no molecules present, the value of chi is equal to 0. This proportionality constant is a dimensionless quantity and called electric susceptibility. Its value is different for different materials. This is all about for this topic. Here we have discussed first one, conductors and the insulators and semiconductors. Then we have discussed what is dielectric and what are the free charges and bound charges in a conductor. Then we have discussed polarization and electric susceptibility. Thank you. Have a nice day.